How's it going, YouTube? It's Ed from Eds FishTank Extreme. Here's the part 2 of the aftermath of Hurricane Irma, and I'll be getting the videos back up on the tank real soon. So enjoy the video and see what it really did to the area. Thank you.
It's like showers occasionally. They don't even get all those, and restroom facilities. A few numbers I think you'll find interesting. We expect to be going through about 200,000 gallons of fuel a day to keep this army moving. We will supply the crews somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000 pounds of ice and 30,000 gallons of water a day. As all of you know, it's hot out there. We need to keep people hydrated as well. We'll serve over 50,000 meals a day to make sure that, again, we keep people focused on the job at hand, and that's getting the power back up. As we move these staging sites in your communities, you're gonna see a lot of trucks, a lot of equipment. Again, I ask for your patience. If you see a long line of trucks that are going through an intersection, give them the right of way if you can, because it makes a big difference. Every hour counts. We know that. We know how uncomfortable it is to be out of power. We get it. We live here. We have families here as well. And every minute that I can keep the trucks rolling rather than stopping is extra time that we can be focused on restoration efforts. So in advance, I'll say thank you. Thank you for your support on trying to help us get all these people out there. A few other areas that I'll cover on estimated times. Assessing the damage at the same time that we're out restoring anything that we possibly can. We will provide estimated times of restoration as quickly as possible, and we'll do it on a large scale to start with. And then we'll
On a videotape
county level and the sub-county level, and we'll be providing those on regular briefings as well as on our website and through our Power Tracker tool. Again, safety is our biggest concern as well. This is a business that will kill you if you don't do it properly. And as much as I want to get everybody up as quickly as possible, I don't want to have a call that unfortunately I've had before with families where somebody's not coming home. So we're going to be focused on safety, and I'd like everybody who's listening to this to also focus on their own personal safety. Unfortunately, we have seen this repeatedly, that many accidents, most actually, occur after the storm passes. Intersections that don't have power. That's a four-way stop. Everybody needs to come to a four-way stop and be patient and look and be careful, because going through an intersection as if it's a green light will get you killed. And we see this every single storm, so please pay attention. High water, there's been a lot of flooding. Do not wade through high water. There's always the possibility that an electric line could be energized and in it. There's also all kind of debris you can't see, and there's hidden dangers. So please stay out of high water. Be careful around down power lines. Assume that every power line is energized. Do not touch it. Call us, report it, we will handle it. Do not touch it. If you're trying to remove debris from your house, particularly tree limbs and being up on a ladder, be careful. Not just from being up on a ladder, by the way, but also on any power lines that may be in the area. And we're still getting feeder bands through. Now, these gusts of winds can be 40, 50 miles an hour, and they can blow you off of a ladder. We've seen that happen before, too. So be cautious, be conservative. A few minutes is not going to make any difference in your life, but it's a dangerous time out there right now, and I just ask you to be very careful. A moment about generators too. We're a state that has been through a number of storms, so many of you have portable generators. That's great, but be sure that you pay attention to how to operate those. Follow the instructions, please. Do not operate them in your garage. Do not operate them around an open window. Every year, unfortunately, we also see where people are injured or worse, killed because of the fumes. So please be careful. And storing gasoline in your garage is never a good idea, and in your home is absolutely not a good idea. So don't do that either, and be careful around it. Again, we're going to do our best to keep you informed on a real-time basis through our website, through our app, and then we'll have regular briefings as well, so you can get as much information as possible so you can make an informed decision as when is the best time for you to return to your home and your business. Our goal is to get you back restored as quickly as possible, but we need to do it safely as well. So I'd also ask you to please heed the warnings and the guidance from your local elected officials, from state officials, from law enforcement. We have first responders that are out there working, and they have been throughout the night. They're on the roads too. And when you're driving, you put them in jeopardy. Frankly, I would ask you to stay off the roads today if you possibly can. We're moving a lot of equipment. First responders are out there. I know everybody's curious, and everybody wants to see the damage, but it is much safer for you to stay off the roads and see it from your TV, or if you need to, step outside your house and look there, but don't go out and drive if you can help it, because it's just a dangerous time. So again, I thank all of you for your patience, your understanding. We're going to work 24/7. Every single man and woman at Florida Power and Light, and all of the many who've come in from across the country to get the power back on, are not going to quit until the job is done. And I thank you for your patience. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So there you have the briefing from FPL, the CEO, talking to us about what's happening around the state. So let's talk a little bit more about what he said and try to elaborate a little on where we are here, because they have very few specifics for Southwest Florida at this time. We have been told by FPL that some of the power restoration may happen faster on the East Coast because they're just doing restoration there, where on our coast there's some major infrastructure that may need to be rebuilt. So when you hear the word patience, they're asking for your patience because they know that in some spots specifically it might take quite a long time than you might be expecting for power to be restored, and they're assessing all of that and trying to figure that out. But when they talked about how they do things, making sure their power plants are working first and then going to their first most important places like hospitals, well, we've already seen hospitals restored. Health Park Hospital was without power. They were running on generators last night, and they have had their power restored. So if you live near a hospital, you may have your power because you're just on the same grid as the hospital. And so we know they're at least that far with some of the emergency services that are needed. And shelters, we haven't heard any shelters being without power at this time. So we know that they're at least to that point. And so now then they can go out and stretch out into other neighborhoods and try to do some restoration. They told us as well, like, what should customers do? We asked them, what should customers do? Well, generally speaking, with their technology today and the type of meters that you have at your home, they know already as soon as your meter is out that you don't have power. You don't necessarily always have to call the power company. You can call the power company if you see that all your neighbors have it, but you are without. You can call them and say, hey, I got an isolated, so you can be sure that they know and they're working on you. But they told us basically that with the updated technology that they have, they know if you're out of power. If you'd like to, though, they say you can call the number right on your bill, or go on the website and report it, or do it on the app like he was mentioning.
And they made it very easy for you to do. But just to put this in perspective also, 19,000 technicians are now spread out across the state of Florida. And he called, the president and CEO of FPL said, this is like an army. They're using 200,000 gallons of fuel a day to be spread out across the state. So he wanted to really reiterate that teams are on the ground right now. It'll take time, but they did say that, like Lois said, they're going to rebuild the grid, and this is unlike anything they've ever done before because they've never prepared for a storm like they have for this one. So
that looks like a tornado.
We'll start to see FPL crews in the neighborhood very soon. So just we have hope for that.
I'll tell you what, when he said that about if you see all the lines of trucks coming, give them the right of way, I can tell you that's not going to be a problem. When you don't have power in your neighborhood, you are so happy. I remember in Charlie people cheering. So happy to see them in their area. So I'm
Bring
really
a snack, a drink, or something, because these guys are the heroes after the storm for sure.
It's nice. We'll be happy to see them in our own neighborhoods for sure. We're going to go to Oliver Redston right now. He has been out in Collier County for us throughout the last 24 hours, covering in the thick of the hurricane. And I guess Collier Emergency Management has just wrapped up a news conference there, and I know a lot of people in Collier County are very concerned about what exactly is happening there. So
and you know, Oliver has done a great job today being very mobile. He went to mobile home parks in Collier County that was devastating, because roofs were just like a can. They were just ripped off of them and thrown 100 yards away, and that's why it's so important. We tell you every time, do not be in a mobile home during hurricanes, because Oliver has shown us the evidence of what can happen, and he's been monitoring that today.
Yeah, so we want to hear what the latest is out of Collier County. As soon as we have Oliver ready, we will go to him so that you can hear if you're in Naples, Marco Island, Golden Gate, Immokalee, any of those areas, that you can get the very latest information from your emergency officials. Of course, they were telling people in those areas, please wait. Okay, we're having a difficult time getting a connection. We're just being told in our ears that we're going to move on to weather, and we'll get back to Oliver, but know that that's on our radar, that we're hoping to get to him very soon. So if you're listening from Naples or you're watching, if you still have power, we'll get to that as soon as we can.
I have a quick update that we just got in also. If your child goes to the Canterbury School in Fort Myers, they're going to be closed all week. And we've also got an update from Lee County Schools as well, that they have extended their closures.
Yes, all week through Friday, so they